So let's start the webinar today. It is based on National Education Policy 2020, implementing in CBSE schools. So parents and students, good morning to you all. So today, Mrs. Mandeep along with me, Dr. Shruti and Mrs. Sulekha, we are going to tell you about the National Education Policy 2020 implementation in CBSE schools. Okay, so I'm going to start the webinar today, everyone. So have a look. So first of all, I'm going to start with the vision of the policy. So you can see the NEP 2020, it developed an education system deeply rooted in Indian ethos, which has the capability to provide high quality education to compete in the global world. The curriculum and pedagogy must develop a sense of respect towards fundamental duties, as you know, and Constitution of India, and have a deep bond with the country. It develops a sense of pride and respect for the country and be responsible for human rights, sustainable development, global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. So these are the vision of this NEP 2020, everyone. I think you are clear about the vision of the policy. So let me start with the key principles of NEP 2020. So you can see on my slide, it will show the respect for diversity and local context, equity and inclusion, community participation, use of the technology. It will more emphasize on conceptual understanding, unique capabilities, critical thinking and creativity, continuous review. So in respect for diversity and local context, you can see it include in all curriculum, pedagogy and policy, and equity inclusion. It is the cornerstone of all educational decision. And in community participation, it encourage and facilitate for philanthropic, private and community participation. And use of technology, you can see here in teaching and learning, removing language barriers for Divyang students and in educational planning and management. And it may more emphasize on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. And it is the unique capability, it recognizes identifying than each student and more based on critical thinking and creativity. And last one is the continuous review. Let me go to the next slide. So this is the basic structure you can see at front of you. Previous academic structure and new pedagogical and curricular structure. So you can see here, previous academic structure, it will be based on like this, 2, 10, like this. And now new pedagogical and curricular structure of school education, it is based on 5 + 3 + 3 + 4. Okay, 3 years in Anganwadi preschool and 12 years in school. So there are now 4 stages we have to cover. One is the foundation stage, and second is the preparatory stage, third is the middle stage, and fourth is the secondary stage. In foundational stage, you can see 3 years, as I was saying, Anganwadi and preschool, and 2 years class 1 and 2. And preparatory stage, you can see here in preparatory stage, it's class 3 to 5, ages 8 to 11. And then middle stage, class 6 to 8 and ages 11 to 14. And in secondary, you can see 9 to 12 and ages 14 to 18. So we just phase in foundational state, it is multi-level activity-based learning, and in preparatory stage you can see it is play, discovery and activity-based and interactive classroom learning. And in middle stage, it is experiential learning in the sciences, mathematics, arts, social science and humanities. And last one is the secondary stage. It just more emphasis on greater critical thinking, multidisciplinary study, flexibility and student choice of the subject. So now the curricular structure has been changed. You can see here 5 + 3 + 3 + 4. Okay, so everyone keep in your mind new pedagogical and curricular structure 5 + 3 + 3 + 4. So let me come to the next. We are going to shift our teaching to competency based teaching, learning and assessment based. You can see here it promotes critical and creative thinking aligned to the 21st century in classroom. It shifts traditional assessment to the competency focused. Okay, it tracks student progress comprehensively and frequently. It designs tools and resources to acquire learning outcomes. So it means if we are going to shift to competency-based teaching and learning and assessment, it will reduce curriculum to the core essential to minimize rote learning, and it promotes sport integrated and art integrated learning in classroom for the holistic development. So next are the salient features. You can see various stages in the school. The foundational stage, as you know, it is based on play and activity-based learning. And next one is the preparatory stage. It is a gradual transition from play-based learning to the more formal classroom learning, and interactive teaching learning is there. So there will be more emphasis on reading, writing, speaking, and then middle stage, you can see subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular methodology. Next one is the secondary stage, you can call it high school. It is 4 years of multidisciplinary study. And here you can see exposure to more subjects and enable greater flexibility. Fine. So let me come to the next slide. So you can see here the foundation of learning. It is early childhood care and education. So ECCE, early childhood care and education. It is the foundation of the learning. So main goals you can see this: read with comprehension, write, basic mathematical operations, learn basic life skills. So these are the main early childhood care and education goals. You can see the ensure that all children entering grade 1 are school ready by 2030. So let me come to the next slide, everyone. So these attainment of foundation literacy and numeracy by grade 3 in mission mode, you can see it is early learning, focus on reading, writing, and mathematics, 3-month play-based school, national repository, libraries, and foundation skills, national mission, book promotion. So these all are the attainment of foundational literacy and numeracy by grade 3 in the mission mode. So let me go to the next slide. So this is main slide. You have to see this, how we can bring the children back to the school and prevent children dropping out. The following steps will be taken. So it means curtailing dropout rates and ensuring universal access to education at all levels. How can we bring the children back to school and prevent children dropping out? So it provides regular trained teacher at each stage. Special care shall be taken to ensure that no school remain deficient on infrastructure support. Universal participation in school by carefully tracking student as well as their learning levels in order to ensure that they are enrolled in and attending school and have suitable opportunity to catch up and re-enter school in case they have dropped out. Community partnership in terms of expertise and infrastructure support. Okay, so these are the main curtailing dropout rates and ensuring universal access to education at all levels. Let me go to the next slide. So these are the highlights you can see on your screen of pedagogical structure. So first one is, as I emphasize, that competency based education. Next is integration of subjects. And third one is development of scientific temper. Next is no SILOS among subjects learning, emphasis on digital literacy, then promotion of the multilingual teaching. So these are the main highlights of pedagogical structure. So everyone, you have to just make a small note in your mind that now teaching will be on competency-based education, integration of subject, development of scientific temper, no SILOS among subjects learning, emphasis on digital literacy, promotion of multilingual teaching. So these are the, you can see in my slide, encouraging 21st century skills in the classroom. So we are just going to focus on digital literacy, problem solving, communication, critical thinking, creativity, health and fitness, social responsibility, ethics, scientific temper, collaboration. So these are the skills that we're going to introduce in our classroom. So next is introduction of contemporary subjects. In artificial intelligence, you can see organic living, and in holistic health, you can see design thinking, and in data science, you can see the machine learning. So these are the introduction of the contemporary subjects. So next is year-long course during grade 6 to 8. You can see survey and hands-on experience of a sampling of important vocational crafts such as carpentry, electric work, metal work, gardening, pottery making, etc. And it will be decided by the states and the local community and as mapped by local skill and needs. So next one is mathematics and computational thinking. It increased emphasis throughout the school years, starting with the foundational stage. Fine. Use of variety of innovative methods, using puzzle, games, and introduction of activities in coding in middle stage. Next is it will lay more emphasis on vocational education, my dear, more emphasis on vocational education. Yes, 10-day bagless period during grades 6 to 8. You can see here 10 days bagless period during grade 6 to 8 for student to intern with local vocational experts as such as carpenters, gardeners, potters, artists. Internship opportunity to learn vocational subject through grade 6 to 12. Vocational courses through online media. Periodic exposure to activities outside school through like meeting local artists and craftsmen, and then vocational courses to be offered through open and distance learning. And by 2025, at least 50% of learners shall have exposure to vocational education. So I'm going to hand over the mic to Dr. Shruti. Now she will introduce the next slide to everyone. So have patience.
Yes, Dr. Shruti. Thank you, Mandeep ma'am, for giving me the opportunity to speak on the National Education Policy 2020.
So now, as per the knowledge of India, the main emphasis of National
Education Policy
2020, it is getting the knowledge from ancient India and its contribution to the modern India and its successes and challenges. Then competition in the school for learning various topics and subjects through fun and indigenous games will be done. Video documentaries will be shown to the students. Students will visit to different states as a part of cultural exchange program. Constitutional values will be developed in the students and knowledge of critical issues facing local communities, states, and the country and the world. All these will be discussed in the school as per the National Education Policy 2020. The next is health education. Students will be given the basic training in health, including preventive health, mental health and well-being, nutrition, personal and public hygiene, and first aid. Detrimental and damaging effect of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs will also be taught to students. Next is leveraging the power of multilingualism and language learning. Now, the mother tongue, it is given the main emphasis. The mother tongue, it will be used as a medium of instruction wherever possible until at least grade 5 and preferably till at least grade 8. Mother tongue will be used as a medium of instruction wherever it will be possible. Now, the next is National Curriculum Framework for School Education and Textbook, NCFSE. The formulation of new and comprehensive national curricular framework for school education, NCFSE 2020-21, will be undertaken by NCERT based on a principle of National Education Policy 2020 and will be made available in all the regional languages. All the textbooks shall aim to contain the essential core material deemed important on national level, but at the same time contain any desired nuances and supplementary material as per local context and needs. Where possible, school and teacher will also have the textbook employed and from among a set of books that contain requisite national and local material. The next is transforming assessment for students' development. The main aim of assessing the student as per the National Education Policy 2020 is shifting the students' rote memorization skill to formative and is more competency assessment, promotes learning and development of students, test high order skills such as analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. Assessment for learning, optimized learning, and development for all the students. This will be the underlying principle for assessment at all level of education. The next is The next slide is transforming assessment and tracking student progress across school years. So as you can see from the images shown, all the student will take school examination in grade 3, 5, and 8, as well as grade 11, 10th and 12th. To test the main feature of these assessment is to test the core concept and move away from rote memorization, conduct assessment for all schools, government as well as private. School data is anonymized public disclosure by school of their overall outcome, use data for continuous monitoring and improvement. Next is redesigning report card to assess the holistic development of each child. Now the report cards will be redesigned to check the overall development of every child. There will be 360 holistic report card will be prepared. As per this, as you can see from the image, the progress in project-based inquiry and inquiry-based learning, progress in cognitive affective learning, then quizzes, role play, group work, portfolio, etc., interactive questionnaire for parents and teachers, then self-assessment and peer assessment, teacher assessment, all these will be done as per the part of report card. Next is regarding guidelines for assessment. Guidelines will be prepared by NCERT in consultation with BOS and NACSE. Then transformation in assessment system by 2022-23 academic session to align with national curriculum framework for school education NCFSE 2020-21. Next is National Assessment Center for School Education, that is NACSE. This center will advise the school board regarding new assessment pattern and latest researches for promoting collaboration between school boards to become instrument for sharing the best of practices between school boards about shifting their assessment pattern toward meeting the skill requirement of the 21st century. Now the next part is teacher and teacher education as per NEP 2020. There will be three kind of teacher education, that can be in way of 4-year integrated B.Ed, 2-year B.Ed, and 1-year B.Ed. Next is teacher and teacher education NEP. What will be the aims for teacher education? That is National Professional Standard for Teacher Education will be developed by 2022. The professional standards will be reviewed and revised in 2030. Quality 4-year integrated B.Ed programs, transparency in transfer through online computerized system, TET will be strengthened, sharing teachers across schools. School and complexes will hire local and eminent persons, experts as masters instruction. All this will be the part of teacher education in NEP 2020. The next is NEP aim to support and nurture teachers through all phases, that are from preparation to recruitment in the classroom as well as professional development of the teachers. Then continuous professional development, that is CPD, and improving standards. Teachers will undertake 50 hours of CPD every year driven by their own interest. It is compulsory for the teachers to undertake at least 50 hours training as per CPD, that is continuous professional development and improving standards, to improve their skills in teaching. Then is equitable and inclusive education, NEP 2020. The main aim of education as per NEP 2020 is education is the single greatest tool for achieving social justice and equality. NEP seek to bridge gender and social category gap in all the level of school education. Then focus on socio-economically disadvantaged group, that is SEDGS. The main area that will be broadly categorized on this basis will be gender identities, socio-cultural identities, geographical identities, disabilities, socio-economic conditions. All this will be taken into mind while drafting the NEP 2020 SEDGS. So now I would like to invite Ma'am Sulekha to present her views regarding NEP 2020 further and present her views on this.
Thank you, Shruti ma'am. So moving forward towards the more slides regarding NEP 2020, the first and foremost is efficient resources and effective governance through complexes, school complexes and clusters. So basically this is based on the teacher trainings and the social workers that are being trained for the students. It is ensured by the schools that the subject teachers for all subjects, including art, music, science, and so on, to name a few, everybody will be trained accordingly. Secondly, adequate resources will be available for the students, such as libraries, labs, so that a sense of community among the teachers and students and the peers are being developed. So these are the resources that are being available for the students. So next is the CBSE initiatives that are being taken by the CBSE schools to ensure the holistic development of students. First of all, SSA, a state school standard authorities will be made, so that a SQAA for CBSE schools, these organizations will be arranged for the students. So the key features of SQAA is the self-assessment tools for schools, so that they can review the performance of the students, which are based on predefined indicators, the benchmarks. The benchmarks are available for every school to assess the level of the school, whether they fall in the category of A, B, or C level schools, so that these are easily implementable, transparent, and objective. Transparent means that you will be able to understand the working of the school. Next slide is based on the initiative for capacity building for teachers. It means that transforming assessment and examination, that how to changes will be brought in the assessment and examination criteria. The training will be given to the paper setters. A manual assessments will be set as for or of learning outcomes. So basically it will be focused on the learning outcomes. So initiatives for capacity building of teachers. Teachers will be trained periodically. In-service teachers will be trained as well as off-service will be trained. Before joining the school, they will be trained for the needs of the students. So CBSE will prepare small 10-minute mock classrooms demonstrating a good class practice for experiential joyful learning, so that students enjoy the learning. Secondly, curricular initiatives that are being taken by the CBSE in this NPE 2020, that all the subjects will be integrated. Implementation of experiential learning, pedagogies like arts and sports, integrated storytelling and gaming. So mathematics and Hindi, moreover, Sanskrit is going to be introduced in the next session from 2022 to 2023. So also introduction of 9 vocational courses of 12-hour duration in classes 6 to 8 will be introduced. So next is ensuring competency-based education in schools. That is very, very important, so that students become competent on the critical level, creative thinking level, so that they can be assessed informally and formally at any level of their world language. So next is student enrichment activities. Some of the activities are already being implemented in the schools. The next are Aryabhat Gain It Challenge, Heritage India Quiz, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, CBSE Science Challenge, Science Exhibition, Khelo India, Expression Series, and Reading Challenges. So these are the activities that enrich a student with the competency. Now, there are many expectations from the schools. I'm going to just summarize those expectations, that the core learning will be the main focus of the NPE 2020. Foundational skills, that is literacy and numeracy, so that students strengthen their basic skills such as reading, writing, and learning the mathematical computations, mathematical concepts. Moreover, the learning outcomes will be the main area to focus. Next is to adopt the different assessment patterns and no separation between the subjects and disciplines, for example, arts and sciences. As I have already said, that vocational training to the students will be given for the 12 hours. They will be enabled that there should be no retention. Dropouts number will be decreased. And as Shruti ma'am said, that SEDGS, the socially economically deprived sections जो होते हैं, groups जो होते हैं हमारे society के, they must be included. So inclusive education must be given. Moreover, school quality assurance accreditation framework, that is SQAF, I have already mentioned, will be applied and provide enabling resources both to students and teachers. Next is ensure capacity building at all levels. Again, it is repeated that all the teachers, staff, all the stakeholders of the school will be trained accordingly. So training teachers will be based on technological equipments that are being implemented. For example, many apps are being downloaded in the laptops and phones of the teachers so that they can assess every new introduction in the school. For example, Swayam and Diksha. So basic health indicators to look out for the monitor and to look out for and monitor the children, that whether they are healthy and fit to join the school. So main focus will be on inquiry-based critical thinking, cognitive learning, and applied methods. So this is all about the holistic progress card that will be issued to the parents in the coming years. Next is so engage with parents and community for a positive learning environment. Last but not the least, that is very, very important for the parents to listen, that whether the parents are doing their part in the development of child or not, it will be checked by the school informally and formally both, so that we can sensitize parents of children with physical and learning disabilities, that is first generation learners, make home visits. We will try our level best to make the home visits and arrange the workshops for parenting, that particularly related on the related anxieties and other stress related things, that is stress related to exams also. So basic things that are very important for the students' progress, that will be taken care in our school, so that everything is being done. So have parent representatives for PTMs also we are going to organize. So this is all about the NP 2020. I hope you understand. If there is any kind of query or question you want to ask, you can. We are happy to answer you, reply you. So thank you very much for attending this webinar. I'm handing over to mic to the Mrs. Goraya ma'am, so that she can end the webinar. Thank you.
Yes, children, thank you very much for joining the webinar, everyone. So I'm going to send you the one PPT to you, everyone, and one Google form to all of you on your class groups. And you have to fill that Google form and submit to us within a given time. And thank you for joining the webinar. If you have any query, you can send us a message regarding that, and we will solve your query also. So now you can leave the meeting. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.